You decided that you're gonna lose some weight. You think that you should begin by dieting first and then add some exercise later. This may be based on the myth that you can't lose fat and build muscle at the same time. And not only can you lose fat and gain muscle at the same time, but it may be the key for long-term sustainable results. Beyond being aesthetically pleasing, having less inflammatory fat and more metabolically active muscle will support maintaining your desired physique 24/7. Because we understand now that fat and muscle are not these like inert compartments in the body, and they actually function like endocrine organs, which produce hormones that have the ability to communicate to every cell in your body. Now, in the case of fat, we have these inflammatory messengers called cytokines that send signals throughout the body, increasing insulin resistance and inflammation, which I've talked quite a bit about in other videos, but bottom line is they make it a lot more difficult to lose weight. In fact, research has shows that this elevated levels of inflammatory cytokines can actually even predict future weight gain, just having them circulating around in your body. Now let us consider for a moment the role of muscle, specifically skeletal muscle, which when we use them releases an anti-inflammatory messenger called MYOKINES. Now these MYOKINEs appear to be involved with repairing muscle fibers that ultimately leads to building more muscle growth. And this is critical for maintaining your preferred weight, as more muscle means there's more places for your body to put glucose when you consume any food, basically, and not store it as fat. The bottom line is fat on your body encourages more fat storage, and exercising for muscle will support less fat storage. Done. Okay. They are separate compartments, and while we cannot turn fat into muscle, but what you can do is focus your efforts on losing fat and build muscle at the same time. Now, in today's video, I am going to explain to you 6 strategies to help you lose fat and gain muscle at the same time. Number 1, diet. Absolutely is the single most important factor in determining your ability to both lose fat and gain muscle. And thinking about diet, number 1 would be protein, which is of course the key to support muscle, especially if you're cutting calories to lose weight, because it provides those essential amino acids, which are the building blocks for muscle. But also important as we're trying to lose some weight is that protein is the most satiating of all the macronutrients. And let's face it, no one likes to be hungry. This is not going to help us. Next on the list with the diet would be to focus on those lower glycemic carbohydrates, such as some fibrous vegetables of dark leafy greens, cruciferous, I'm always talking about berries, and absolutely we can include some starchy vegetables such as sweet potato, butternut squash, or rice. But you know, the amount of carbohydrates that you can consume and still continue to achieve your desired results might be very influenced by the amount of activity and also what your specific goals are. But I have to say that most of the people that I have worked with really have had success with limiting those carbs to, I would say, somewhere between 50 to 100 on most days. And also consume, some moderate amounts of fat, just enough to support our energy levels, again, our appetite. And also, if you are interested in intermittent fasting, that can also be helpful, having some fat in your diet as well. Number 2, yes, exercise, building muscle. Weight resistance is key, and I definitely suggest lift heavy as long as you are able to maintain good form. And of course, cardio, and as far as cardio goes, number 1 would be that high intensity interval training, because it absolutely has demonstrated that in the 24 to 48 hours after engaging in it, that we definitely burn more fat. So we're going to, just to review once again, weight resistance to help build muscle. And then we are going to, number 2, do the high intensity interval training to help burn fat. Number 3, sleep and recovery is critical. It's actually the only time you're actually building muscle, to be honest, is when we are sleeping. Because actually when you are doing the weight resistance, we're not building it then, but we are actually making micro injuries to the muscle fibers. And during sleep is when we repair. And in addition to that, yes, having a rest time where we want to take at least a 48 to 72 hour break in between each weight resistance exercise. Number 4, something I particularly enjoy, which is the sauna or heat therapy. And it has been demonstrated to help with a variety of health factors, including cardiovascular fitness, reduction in cortisol, improved sleep, but it is also a recovery strategy to use after weight resistance that can actually also encourage more muscle growth. So this is fantastic, and I just enjoy doing it. So there's that. Now, number 5, cold therapy, which has really gotten increasingly popular, such as doing a cold plunge, even putting your hands in ice, or a cold shower on a regular basis, because it causes the body to produce something called brown fat. Now, brown fat is totally different than white fat, and it is a special kind of fat that actually enables your body to stay warm, and it produces heat and it burns more calories when you are exposed to cold, which is so interesting, although I do not enjoy it. In fact, studies have demonstrated that brown fat can burn as much as 5 times more calories than other kinds of body fat. And they have shown also that cold exposure increases this brown fat in the body, thereby, of course, increasing the amount of calories that we burn all the time. So it might be time to turn down the temperature, which is kind of hard here in Florida, but okay, you get the idea. And then finally, number 6, kind of fun, is some fat-burning beverages to consider. Number 1, my favorite is coffee. And the caffeine particularly can stimulate the nervous system, and it actually tells the body to release some fatty acids. So I think this is great, and I do it before working out, and there you go. Now, next on the list is yerba mate, which I keep hearing a lot about lately, which has been shown to reduce the number of fat cells and decrease the amount of fat that they hold, and increases the amount that actually can be used for energy. Kind of interesting. Now, what about apple cider vinegar? Can't talk enough about that. The acidic acid in the apple cider vinegar also has shown to encourage fat burning while inhibiting fat storage. This is pretty good. So you can see how there's all these little pieces that can come together that can really help you lose fat and build muscle at the same time. Because these two goals actually work together synergistically. And in the end, you are going to achieve better and more sustainable results. I would love to hear in the comments below how you might use any of these suggestions, and you find this helpful at all. Please give it a thumbs up, share, subscribe to my channel. And also, if you are interested in knowing what a personal plan might look like for you, there is a link in the description below to book a no-cost call. So I look forward to seeing you in the next video.